Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So you'll be pleased to know holiday season for me is over, at least for a few months to go. I'd booked to go away for a couple of weeks with my husband, and when I came back I had to go away again because I had booked to go away with my mother-in-law for a couple of days. It was a slightly different sort of holiday. It was a 3-day heavy drinking session in Benidorm in Spain, and Benidorm and Valencia are very, very different places. So let's get on with the stuff that's been happening. There has been so much royal news, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm just going to cherry pick a few bits for the rest of this week. Stories that made me smile, made me laugh, or infuriated me, but you know who that's going to be about, don't you, straight away? So we're going to start with a story, and this was whilst I was away in Valencia. Well, it's not a story, it's a video clip. You know Harry, all the drama that he's created over his security, that he must have full-on security from the moment he arrives in the dangerous UK to the moment that he leaves. He needs people around him with guns because his life above everybody else's is at the utmost risk. Well, the king, all right, he's in Windsor. He's just casually walking about. Now, quite clearly, he has got plainclothes officers with him, but he is also not walking around with the guys with the big guns that they have around Windsor. And he's just taking a stroll. He's walking down to the church. He's just happily chatting away to the people that he's with. But what really gets me is the fact he's completely under the radar of all of these tourists. You see, as he walks past some people, they don't even know the king has just walked past them. When he's walking down this bit, yes, the stretch to the Windsor Chapel, there are people so busy looking at their phones or filming themselves or trying to take pictures of the Windsor Chapel that the king walks past. You would be gutted, wouldn't you, if you missed that and then everyone just went, oh, it's the king, it's his majesty. And you were too busy like FaceTiming your mum going, oh, look, I'm in Windsor, la-di-da-di-da. And the king just strolls past. I thought it was just not like an amazing clip, but it was in some ways, because I've been to Windsor. This wasn't a big special event where it was all cordoned off. There were literally people just casually going about their day. They've paid their entrance fee and you have the king walk past you. That's incredible. Now, there's another video that's been shared on Twitter, and it's not the king, it's the future king, and he is nipping about between places in a very modern fashion. Yes, that is Prince William zipping about on an e-scooter. And yet again, nobody is following him. He hasn't got all of the officers with their guns. I mean, to be fair, it'd probably be a bit hard to keep up with him on an e-scooter. Perhaps that's what he was doing. Perhaps he was racing them. Because I tell you, a famous royal that was known for evading his own security team, you won't be that surprised, Prince Philip. Part of me thinks he did it because he was genuinely annoyed, very much where Princess Anne has the same attitude. She doesn't want the fuss, but I also think with Prince Philip, I think partly it was done for his own entertainment. He was always known for being a jester, but there were very many stories that have always gone around about Prince Philip just trying to slip out of the way under the noses of his security team, and then they would be going nuts trying to find where he was. Yes, I guess it is for his own protection, but the fact that makes me laugh. Prince Philip was like, just gonna nip out here. I'm just gonna go have a drink. Vroom, there he goes, off in his Range Rover. Prince Philip was clearly a royal version of Catch Me If You Can. And that's the thing I do love about our royal family. Some people see them as stoic and stuffy and boring. That's because they're looking at the portraits and stuff. They're not looking at the way this family interact with each other. Sometimes members of the public, they are always laughing and joking. I do think that they are actually a really fun family. And Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, has actually been caught drink driving. But nobody panicked. She wasn't exactly driving down the motorway with a bottle of vodka between her knees. No, she was competing in a carriage driving drinking game at the Sandringham Driving Horse Trials, of which the Duchess recently became the president of. This was a lovely hobby that was also Prince Philip's favourite, and he obviously loved the fact that his granddaughter Lady Louise took it up, and then when he died he left her his carriage and his horses, and I thought that was a really, really sweet gesture for her. Whilst Lady Louise is furthering her educational career and she's actually at university, she is seen quite regularly taking part in lots of horse driving competitions. I think much like her older cousin Zara, we will be seeing Lady Louise at many equestrian events as she gets older. Now, as for Sophie being a drink driver, she had to drive the horses and she had to hold a wine glass. I'm not sure if it was wine, it probably was just water. And then what she had to do was drive around with it, not spill it, and then place it onto the post. As you can see, Sophie missed the post. Then she had to try and reverse the horses. Then she gave up reversing the horses, shoved the wine glass in her teeth, and then just went back round again, much to the amusement of everybody watching, including Lady Louise and Prince Edward, who was so entertained watching his wife, he whipped out his iPhone and filmed her. Now, back to Prince William. His popularity is on the rise in America yet again. It must be a tough pill for Harry to swallow, especially as his is sinking even lower stateside. But much like Meghan, his wife, it's because, my personal opinion, is because even people that fully supported them when they left the royal family and they had the wool pulled over their eyes, they believed the sob stories, they believed the victim narrative that all started out, even those people now have begun to realise there is a common denominator. The cause of all of Harry and Meghan's gripes and issues are all designs of their own making. But as for Harry's popularity tanking even lower with Americans, all of the Americans I've ever met or ever known are lovely, positive people. It's a can-do attitude. Harry, he's so miserable, isn't he? He's ungrateful, he's vindictive, he's a weak man, he's cruel, he's bitter, and all he seems to do is tell the world how hard done by he is. So it's hardly surprising that many have lost so much respect for him. And if he goes ahead with tomorrow's awards, which we know that he's going to lose even more. There have been no signs so far that Harry has any intention of doing the right thing and turning down this award, or rather declining it and handing it over to someone that is far more deserving. No, if anything, minutes before I actually started recording this video, I read that Harry has been refusing to listen to anyone telling him not to accept this award and to pass it over to the next person because, well, it's Harry. He doesn't read the room. Several outlets have reported that although Harry apparently feels sad and the shine has now been taken off him receiving this award due to negative criticism and backlash, he still has every intention of collecting it still. Apparently, he and Meghan are very used to criticism after everything they have had to endure over the last few years. There you go, there's that victim narrative that those two cling on to with tooth and nail as much as they do those titles that come from a royal family that is an evil, nasty, archaic institute. The backlash has been absolutely insane with this. There are over 73,000 signatures at the time that I filmed this on change.org. I can't post the link to the petition because YouTube doesn't like it, but if you type in change.org into Google, you can just type in Pat Tillman, Prince Harry, you'll see it come up. You can sign it. You do need to approve your signature. You'll get an email to your email address. You need to approve it. Otherwise, they wipe your signatures off the next day. So if you do feel very passionately and strongly about it, I do suggest putting your name to the petition. Now, lots of people have spoken out, obviously, about Harry getting this award. You've got the petition, you've got celebrities speaking out, but you've also had a very prominent UK figure speak out, Admiral Lord Alan West, who is the former head of the UK Navy. He criticised Harry's Legends of Aviation Award, and he has also come out talking about how he thinks it's wrong that this award is also going to Harry, or more importantly, that Harry should know that it's wrong and he should turn it down. He said, "I think Harry should be well advised to sit back and not accept awards like this. It does not travel well with people in the military, and when the mother of the man who died doesn't want him to get this award, he should think about that. He ought to think very hard and long about accepting awards for things like being an exceptional pilot and being exceptionally brave." Translated as, he is neither of those things. This is the former head of the UK Navy. They know, the military know, everybody knows. I know some people believe that he was a pilot, he was put in as a co-pilot. Have you ever seen Harry fly a helicopter anywhere? Do you not think Harry would have continued like Prince William did and did maybe some sort of rescue emergencies, working for the ambulance, air ambulance? If he's got a pilot's license, Harry would do something like that, wouldn't he? Do you not think that Harry, being the little arrogant show-off that he is, he wouldn't have flown his friends round, or Meghan to impress her when he first started dating, he wouldn't take her up in a helicopter? We've seen Prince William. Much to the Queen's dismay, she did not like that, but he took Catherine and his children on lots of helicopter rides. Harry, I'm telling you, is not a qualified helicopter pilot, yet he accepted and collected the Legends of Aviation Award. I still think this photograph, after he'd been rude to John Travolta, and then you've got Lauren Sanchez, she is a pilot, John Travolta is a pilot, they do actually fly. I wonder if they thought to themselves, Harry, why don't you come out for a spin with us? And he would make every excuse under the sun. So, of course, with Mary Tillman, Pat Tillman's mother, speaking out, I'm not even remotely shocked that Harry hasn't thought to himself, this is the man's mother, I should listen to this. He's married to a woman, Meghan, that constantly screeches on about women's voices must be heard. She doesn't actually mean that, she just means her voice should be heard. And we have heard enough of that. But we all know deep down that Harry is going to go on stage, he's going to pat himself in the back, he's going to collect that award, he'll have Marcus Anderson and Meghan cheering him on and his agent from the sideline. Meghan sitting there, no doubt, in another overpriced, ridiculously overdressed ball gown, because Harry will think that he deserves this award just like he did the last one. Now, speaking of Meghan's choice in ball gowns and being overdressed, there's been a flood of photographs, old photographs, 2021, 2022. And some people have said that they think that the photographer has just dumped them all just because Harry and Meghan are losing their value. But I think it was carefully, well, I say carefully, not carefully, but I think it was orchestrated by Meghan herself, because there is one common theme with all of these photographs. Veterans. Harry and Meghan visiting a military base. Harry and Meghan wear that awful red dress with the huge inverted nipples. That was at the Intrepid Museum, the Valor Awards in New York. Then you've got Harry and Meghan visiting the LA cemetery to pay their respects on Remembrance Sunday. Then you had Meghan when she went on TV for the first time since they did Oprah, and she was wearing a poppy. And it's all a theme. They're doing this to show, hey, look, we are deserving of the award, because Meghan will think this award is for her as well, because she's now part of the Invictus Games, isn't she? But it's the way that they've done it. You can see through it a mile off. It's, oh, look, we are popular with the veterans. I'm surprised Harry didn't show the ones with him being saluted at Pearl Harbor, but I suppose they've already done the rounds. This is to deflect from the backlash, to try and say to the public, hey, look, we do lots of stuff with veterans. No, you don't. You use veterans. You use veterans for your own PR. And it's exactly the same with the Invictus Games. The Invictus Games is no longer about the athletes. You've watched it for the last couple of years. If you haven't, I've watched it for the last couple of years. You don't see anything in the newspapers and magazines about the athletes, their stories, what did they get. You really have to deep dive to be able to see who scored what, because it's just a sea of video clips and photographs. And I know Meghan is definitely behind it, because they released press releases where she's telling the press what clothes that she's wearing, what designer, what earrings that she's got on. And it's just turned into the Harry and Meghan show. They do nothing to promote the Invictus Games all throughout the year. They do no promotion, they do no fundraising. They only turn up when the cameras are going to be there, Meghan with a brand new wardrobe. And it's so fake. As for the choice of those photos, well, I don't think that's probably did them any favours either, because the Intrepid Awards, a veteran went over to Harry and apparently told him to get out. He didn't want to be part of the horse and pony show that they were doing, because it was filmed for Netflix, wasn't it? And it was Harry and Meghan being filmed. Do you remember they came on stage and nobody really applauded them? Well, apparently this guy told them that he didn't think too highly of them. And in the LA cemetery as well, think about that. They shut it down. So people that wanted to visit family members or friends, that cemetery, look at it, it's completely empty. They did that and took a fashion photographer. All these two seem to do is just play dress up, and they never ever read the room. I think Harry collecting this award is going to make him even more disliked in America, People can see that Harry is little more than a poster boy for Invictus and that he is using veterans and US veterans now for publicity and self-promotion. I mean this when I say this. Harry could have done so much more with his life, but Harry decided he wanted to chase fame and celebrity. He wants to have this vapid existence just like his wife. He's lost all of that sense of good things that he could have done with his position in life. The Invictus Games now is just little more than a cash cow for him and Meghan. If he'd have stayed under that royal fold, that royal umbrella, I think the Invictus Games would be bigger and better, and they certainly wouldn't be in debt because the royal family or the teams of staff that work for them would have ensured its success. They would have ensured that it would always have remained about the veterans, that it wouldn't have become the Harry and Meghan show. And I am telling you, one day when Harry is old and lonely and miserable because he's lost absolutely everything, the way he's going, it won't be too long now. Well, he's lost all of his family, the majority of his friends in the UK. Harry will sit back in his armchair and he's going to look at all these shiny little accolades that he's got, his little awards that he's collected over the years. And he's going to look at them and realise every single person that he's hurt, every single thing that he gave up for each and every one of them. But the real thing that's going to bite him in the arse, in my opinion, is the fact that he's going to know that he didn't deserve or earn a single one of them. So guys, that's it for me on this one. I will be back tomorrow. We've got to talk Prince William. I've got some funny stuff coming to you. I can't tell you. I'll tell you tomorrow. But just make sure you tune in. I will see you then. And I will also see you in the comments. Take care for now. Bye.